Hey, what's up my friends? My name is Jason Morris and today I'm going to do a video about my brand new A7 III, which I upgraded from the D750. So reason number one of the first reasons why I upgraded is the in-body stabilization. Now obviously with the Nikon D50 it doesn't have in-body stabilization, you have to rely on the vibration reduction in the lenses. Whereas the Sony A7 III, it has that 5-axis in-body stabilization. You can put any lens on there and you'll still get some nice stabilized footage. Because I shoot a lot of video now, it is really good to get nice steady handheld shots. So number two, it's a pretty small reason. Don't you really use it too much at the moment. It's the touchscreen. So with the A7 III, you can't access too much of the options. From what I've seen so far, I've only had it for just over a day now. From what I've seen, you can only pinch zoom and use some of the focus functions on the touchscreen. Number three, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but the maximum ISO on the A7 III goes up to about 51,200, whereas the D750, it's only 12,800 max ISO. So one of the biggest points that I definitely wanted to upgrade for video work is the amount of focus points. So with the A7 III, you're taking a lot of the focus points out of, well, it's pretty much exactly the same from the A9, which is the top of the range Sony camera. So you're looking at 693 focus points, whereas the D750 has only got 51 focus points. So speaking of video, reason number 5, 4K footage option. So you can shoot 4K footage in the A7 III. It's only 1080p at 60 frames per second in the D750. Also slow-mo options with 1080, you can do up to 120 frames per second. So super slow-mo. With that, it's going to be absolutely amazing, buttery smooth slow motion. So another reason, number 6, would have to be probably the high shutter speed. You're looking at 1 is to 8,000th of a second, and the D750 only does 1 is to 4,000th. It's only a little bit of a difference. I don't really shoot that high in the shutter speed anyway, but if you do want to capture sports photography or wildlife, you know, that is a really good option for the A7 III. I'm not a sports or wildlife photographer, so it doesn't matter too much for me. Now, one of the biggest things that I do is a lot of portraiture and low light photography, so dynamic range is a big plus for me. So the A7 III has a lot more dynamic range than the D750. So dynamic range brings out a lot more of the shadows and doesn't blow out too much of the highlights. With the D750, you're looking at an optical viewfinder. So the big difference here, it's got an electronic viewfinder. So the difference between optical and electronic is that optical is you pretty much look through the lens and see what the lens is seeing. Whereas an electronic viewfinder, you'll see what the lens is seeing, but if you make any changes through your ISO, aperture, or shutter speed, the picture that you're seeing through the electronic viewfinder is what you're going to actually capture. So it's gonna help when you change exposure settings from inside and outside. Let's say for a wedding, for instance, you go from outside to inside, you can quickly make the adjustments in the electronic viewfinder and you'll actually get a lot faster when it comes to changing the exposure levels, especially if you do shoot manual, which is what I do. I don't generally put it on any sort of automatic settings. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing with the A7 III, show you what's in the box, rattle out the statistics in another video. I just wanted to show you the reasons or why I was upgrading from the D750. So I still am going to be using the D750, so don't get me wrong there. That's going to be my second camera, sometimes even my primary camera with some of my portrait shots. But the A7 III, I'm going to predominantly have that as my main working horse now. And I just wanted to do this quick video, the reasons why I'm changing from Nikon over to Sony. So there you have it, guys. Please like my video if you could, subscribe if you already haven't, and watch out for my next videos. Stay tuned for the A7 III and more videos coming up with that. See you next time, guys.